What is up guys, name is Ray and welcome to another Genshin Impact video. Today we want to prepare ourselves for 1.2 for Dragonspine. So what I can tell you is because we have pretty much a dead week starting from today, so literally nothing to do. I want to show you off what you can do to prepare yourself for the next update that will be available next week. So what I wanted to tell you beforehand is I won't be available to cover 1.3 as intensively as I want because it will be around Christmas where I will be with my family, so I won't be able to have access to my usual setup. But I will do some videos from time to time. I will prepare a lot of videos during the time that I won't be available, but they won't be referring too much to patch 1.3. Now, but without further ado, let's hop into the video. So on the screen right now, you can see Albedo and Ganyu, which are the new 5-star characters. I don't want to go about them in particular. I want to do this in a separate video when their banner or trailers are available or when their official abilities are released. Now, what I want you to know is if you want to pull for any of those two characters, we currently have a spreadsheet. Shout out to Devil Takoyaki, a Reddit and Twitter user. He has prepared the materials that we need to ascend the character. So if you want to, or if you can guarantee yourself a copy of Albedo or Ganyu, so ignore Zhao for now because he will be available after this. So we only want to look at these two characters. You can save up these two materials from Child, the weekly boss. So I do know that I think Zhongli does need one of these two materials and one of them he doesn't need. So I do think, I'm not too sure, I think Zhongli does need this one, and this one nobody currently needs in the game. So you could save this up for Zhao if you want to. So as you can see, Zhao want to have this as well. But if you want to upgrade or the talents of your Gan, you definitely can use them. This one you only have to decide between Albedo and Zhongli. Other than that, you can form the teachings of Ballad and the teachings of diligence in beforehand, then some nectar, so you only have to kill certain monsters of theirs. Just use your adventure handbook and hunt them down. Divine scrolls for Albedo, Crown of Sagehood, of course we do not have 3 copies of that for now. Then another important thing is Kingshine and Cecilia, so definitely make sure to farm up to over, let's say, 100 copies, so you will be set up to at least ascend them to level 70, level 80, and of course do the Geohypostasis or Cryo-Regicide if you want to ascend any of those characters. Of course, for Ganyu, you will have like 6 weeks, so you will have a lot of more time to prepare for this, but Albedo will be available starting from next week, so make sure to farm these up if you want to guarantee yourself a copy of Albedo. Now, next thing, we have some new craftable weapons. So for these weapons, we have another spreadsheet. What you can do now is you can form the ascension materials, of course. So most important thing is crystal chunks. So if you want to have like the two-handed sword and the catalyst, you will need at least 100 crystal chunks ready. So this weapon is not craftable. I think as far as we know, this is the free-to-play weapon that we get if we are doing the quest, and we also will be able to get it at refinement rank 5. So only thing that you have to prepare for that is to farm some Dandelion Gladiators and some Heavy Horns. Heavy Horns, of course, in the open world, and some insignias also in the open world from the Fatois as well. Of course, save up your prototypes. So if you are able to drop one this week from your weekly bosses, do not use them if you want to try out the craftable weapons from 1.2. You can see the stats on the screen right now. This one doesn't need crystal chunks, so this does need the dragon tooth that has extracted vitality. I do not know where we are getting this from or where the drops will be from for this weapon, and the star silver, of course, will be a new ore in Dragonspine, or it will be Dragonspine exclusively as far as I know. Other than that, only thing that you can prepare now are, of course, these materials. Keep in mind that these materials cause resin. These you can farm without using resin, and crystal chunks you also can farm without using resin. Now the next thing is a new feature. In Dragonspine we have a new ice map, a winter map. We get a new mechanic where we want to, I think there is like a additional bar where that has to be always filled up, and as soon as the bar is at 0 we will lose life continuously because it is too cold. So we have to find some of these spots to keep us warm ourselves for a certain amount of time. What I do assume is you can avoid this by using any pyro character. Of course, in Dragonspine we have some new enemies, and these enemies, or the majority of these enemies, are cryo characters or cryo enemies, so enemies from the ice element. So what we do know is there is a elemental reaction in the game that is very strong, which is melt. So you can proc melt by using a pyro character in Dragonspine. So what I want you to do is, or what I want to recommend you is, you should level up at least one pyro character for Dragonspine. Of course, you will do well without using any pyro character, because you still can use a hydro character, you still can use a Nemo, you still can use whatever you want, or you still can use Electro to proc superconduct. You won't have any troubles beating the enemies by that, because the enemies themselves aren't from the element. So and also the elemental reaction has a cooldown of like 1 or 2 seconds, so you won't be available to proc that elemental reaction right away. But the important thing here is that the enemies are using cryo abilities, and therefore you can use a fire character to melt their abilities, and then you can proc the melt reaction. So also, what I assume is if you use a fire character, you will have the same mechanic as from this item here, or I don't know if this is an item or this is just a point where you have to go to and keep yourself warm. So I think you can get the same effect having a pyro character on the team. So I don't want you to level up your 5-star pyro characters if you do not have one. So, but if we're talking about characters like Bennett, which is potentially featured in Albedo's banner, Jangling, who everybody has because she is free to play. We have Chinyan currently in the banner, so if you want to have her, you can pull for her. You have 1 week left to pull for Xinyan in Zhongli's banner. And of course there's Amber, who's free to play, but I know nobody wants to use Amber. So I think these are the 4 fire characters that we still currently have in the game that you can consider to level up to prepare yourself for Dragonspine. So other than that, of course, I try to cover the update as soon as it's live, but I won't do it as intensively as I wanted to do, because as I said, I won't be available for the update. But I will of course be back available when Ganyu is released. So just for the time when Albedo is released and Dragonspine is new, I won't do too much content on that. But of course there will be a video here and there when I have some time outside than that. So if I could help you out with the video to prepare yourself for Dragonspine, which is available next week, like, comment and subscribe. It would help me out a lot, and I'll see you guys next time. If you guys want to see more Genshin Impact content, videos should pop up on the screen right now. Make sure to check them out, and I thank you for your support.